And welcome into the Rob and Kale Show. I'm Rob Sanders, as I can't get my opener to work tonight, but we're going to get a show out of it anyway. I want to welcome in my podcast partner. He is in the upstate, Mr. Carolina Jackpot, Kale Hall. Kale, what's going on, buddy?
Actually, tonight I'm in the Big L.
You're in the Big L. Okay. Jackpot's in the Big L. Cool. Well, anyway, we've got a jam-packed show for you, I believe. But lots of things we're going to talk about, and the topic that I had for the show tonight was, and I sent it to Jackpot, and we're going to talk about the ACC eliminating their football divisions and playing a modified 8-game conference schedule. And I have something that I want to say about that, and some of y'all are going to be shocked. I think that Jackpot will be shocked by how I feel about this in just a second. But before we take care of that, take care of our sponsors, Callaway's Bar and Grill in West Columbia, Highway 1 diagonal from the Walmart. They're going to sponsor our Callaway's Pick'em Challenge. We're like, 65 days from football, right, Jackpot?
I believe so.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting after it. We are not that far off. And I tell you what, we're gonna have our Pick'em Challenge where we pick, what are we picking? 10 games a week, Jackpot?
Yes.
Yeah, so 10 of the best games of the week. And maybe, what is it? And it's 9 games that are great for the week. And then, like, one game is the Kale Hall special, and the Kale Hall special is dog
That's the
shit.
best game of the week.
That is a horseshit game, Jackpot.
The best game of the week.
Anyway, I tell you what, it's going to.
Weekend.
Well, all right, Jackpot, give us an example of a Kale Hall special, and we'll debate if it's a great game or not.
Like week 1, we'll have Army at Coastal Carolina.
Now, the funny part about this is that Jackpot
No,
doesn't like. He normally doesn't like Coastal Carolina because they're generally better than South Carolina.
well, they beat Clemson last year.
Ooh, that's a slate to walk down. You think Coastal would have beat Clemson last year?
I do, especially if they play in the first half of the season.
No,
Pre-pit, yeah. Pre-pit, they would have won.
All right. Well, Jackpot. You probably would have thought the Citadel would have beat Clemson last year. Anyway.
I mean, like I don't know, Wyoming versus New Mexico State.
You had UConn versus UMass one week. I believe that was one of the games. Two of them all-time shit programs squaring off, and that's the Kale Hall special. Shit.
Over here in the chat section, the hat says Kale, spelled wrong and with a lowercase k. Kale is dumb. Number 2 to 3 defense. What the fuck does that even mean?
No clue what. I don't know what he's going for.
English,
there.
Please. Put English. Yeah. What we speak here in America. Maybe you should get on board, or go back where you came from.
I wonder where the hat's from. That's a good question. I don't know.
All right. Looks like Uranus to me.
You dick. All right. Well, anyway, thank Callaway's Bar and Grill. They sponsor the Pick'em Challenge, and they also take care of you if you go there. Now, I know people are going to come to Columbia this year. I know you Georgia fans are coming to Columbia this year for what? Game 2 of the season? Is it the second or third game of the season there, Jackpot? I think it's game 3, right?
Game 3. Yeah.
So, as my dog's being silly over here. Don't do it, Elsa. I have to correct my dog here. Anyway.
Yeah.
No, she's over here. She wants to go over. She's not very bright. Lord help her. She was over here and then she likes to try to get into the cat box. It's just not good at all. Yeah, so I have to let her do that.
I wish I had a doggy here to discipline, but I don't.
Well, Ziggy misses you. Big Barney Ross with a super chat. Which mascot wins the fight, Clemson or Mizzou? Well, the Mizzou mascot looks like it's high on pot. The Clemson mascot looks like it's high on meth. Jackpot, where would you go on that one?
Well, I'm going to have to say the Clemson mascot because I don't know that I've actually seen the Missouri. I've probably seen the Missouri one, but I was probably too busy throwing shit during the game to pay fucking attention to the damn mascot. So,
all right. Well, anyway, you Georgia fans are going to be coming week 3. Look, you can go to Callaway's and get yourself some wings and all that good stuff, and let them know that you support the show, and they'll take good care of you at Callaway's. All right. So we also have from Dennis Wilson, ACC Trucking and Transport, who is sponsoring my trip to ACC kickoff this year. He is taking care of that for us and just generally just taking care of the show. I'm going to play golf with Dennis at some point here. But he does take care of story time with Uncle Jackpot. Jackpot, tell us a story.
All right, sucks to be a Gamecock. It's been 3,131 days since my team has beaten Clemson in football. Clemson will continue to smash our face in every time we meet on the football field. The decade of dicking is in full effect. It sucks to be a Gamecock. Go Tigers.
Message courtesy of Dennis Wilson, DNC Trucking and Transport. Friend of the program, Rich Long, with a good point. Both of those Tigers, whether it's Mizzou or Clemson, still chickens. Very good, sir. Yeah. Very, very good, sir. That's a good point.
I'm gonna pick on some more. The hat says Jackpot. I had to prove this comment because he used a wordy dirt. Jackpot can shove the Gamecock up his ass. Kale Star corrected this time. My phone corrected to that. Okay, whatever. Clemson had the second to third best defense in the country. Well, which one was it? And would have wiped the floor with CCU. Okay, sir, Coastal Carolina blew out Kansas. I think you're delusional.
What? I don't know what have them blowing out Kansas has anything to do with it.
You got beat by Pittsburgh. You barely beat Syracuse. You barely beat Boston College. Coastal Carolina would have wiped the floor with those teams. I guarantee you that. So I think you're a little bit delusional there, just a little bit.
I think you're a little bit out there, Jackpot, on that. I think Clemson wins over Coastal. So, and I think last year, if South Carolina played Coastal, I think Coastal would have beaten them.
I didn't say that Clemson would have lost to. I said they wouldn't have blown them out.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Maybe I should listen to you more, Jackpot. I need to be a better listener.
Well, yeah, you can sit there and say that they would have lost to them, but South Carolina beat 3 teams last year. They were double-digit underdogs too.
Yeah, but you lost to fucking Tennessee, and Purdue rolled all over them. How did that happen?
Tennessee was favored over South Carolina.
But still.
Yeah, well, so was
is that the game? Is that the game that bothers you, Jackpot? Is that the game that bothers you the most from last season? Is that game?
Which one?
The Tennessee game. Look, we know Clemson's light years better, but if you had it to go all over again, that Tennessee game, you would have much rather have won that one, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it would have been it would have been much more feasible. I mean, they just came out there and played ridiculous. That was the first half of that game was absolutely asinine. They weren't. I mean, it's like they didn't even step off the fucking bus. I don't know what the hell they were doing out there. Just absolute garbage. In the second half, they figured out the gimmick. I mean, they shut them out. Second half. Didn't matter though.
Yeah.
Yeah. That Clemson game still pisses me the fuck off. I mean, how do you not score a fucking point against your damn rival? It was absolutely asinine. You know, I would have been 1 foot off that Beamer train had we not won that bowl game. I mean, that gave me some renewed enthusiasm, but I was kind of pissed after that. Sancho,
Rich
of
Long is
course, the Vols took the foot off the pedal the second half. They didn't take the foot off the pedal. They got shut out.
Based on Kale's theory, both Coastal and Kansas would beat U of SC. And then Rich says U of SC didn't beat one P5 team that finished with a winning record. Damn it, Rich Long. All right, anyway,
Yes, we
Rich Long's
did.
on fire.
Oh, okay. Well, a Power 5 team. UNC didn't have a winning record.
I think they finished. Did they finish? What did they finish? I don't know.
I guess they finished 6 and 7. I don't know.
It was nothing that you did. It was all about what they did.
Yeah, well,
There's
they took the foot off the pedal in the second half. No, second half we wore their ass out. If we played like that in the first half, we would have won that game. I mean, they rode that stupid pass play, that damn Jordan Birch trying to throw a damn touchdown pass, which wasn't even needed. Kevin Harris ran the ball down their throats that entire drive. So what do you do when you're about ready to fucking score? You don't hand the ball off to Kevin Harris again. What do? You have your defensive end trying to throw a fucking bubble or a fucking jump pass. I can't tell. Ah.
All right, Jackpot. Let's talk a second here about this this scheduling bit here that the ACC came out with. And here's my thing on all of this. The ACC jumped the gun on this, going to this 3-5-5 model. And I'll explain to you why. Yes, it's what you play the same 3 opponents every year, and then those are your traditional opponents, and then you play the other 5 on a rotating schedule. So basically, every team in the conference will play each other every 3 years. You're going to play at least one of those teams. So, but they jumped the gun on this, and the reason that they did it, in my opinion, because of they wanted to get their schedule out ahead of the SEC, because the SEC, I think they're going to go to a 9-game schedule. I really do. And I think that if they do that,
They
or
do that?
yeah, if they do that, if they do that, I think that yes, they're all the games are going to be tougher simply because you're playing in that extra conference game. So you're going to have automatically a tougher schedule playing another conference opponent. I think they put this out quickly there to kind of get out ahead of the game. They don't want it to be like the COVID-19 stuff where kind of the SEC led the way and then everybody else kind of just followed along with what the SEC did. The ACC is trying to make some leeway with that, and I think that I think they jumped the gun with this a little bit. And the reason why I say that is because in addition to those 5 teams that you play, Notre Dame goes on your schedule too. People seem to forget that. And having them play 5 ACC teams a year, that's something that's unique that only the ACC has. And I think all of that in the mix, I don't think they've studied this enough, in my opinion. I think it's going to come back to bite them, especially if the SEC goes with the 9-game conference schedule. And then the SEC is going to look at them like, now you look stupid. Now you look stupid. Congratulations. I think that's what's going to happen.
That's entirely possible.
All right. Well, Jackpot, I wanted to ask you, Clemson's opponents are what? They got Georgia Tech, Florida State, and NC State. Those are their 3 permanent opponents. If the SEC decided to go with the same model, who do you think the SEC would assign South Carolina as their 3 permanent opponents?
Well, I'm not really sure, but what I'm thinking would make the most sense. And correct me if I'm wrong here. I think this would make a heck of a lot of sense.
Right?
Give me some Vanderbilt, Mizzou, and Mississippi State. good challenging mix there.
So, I mean, are you being silly, or is that what you really think that they should do?
No, I'm not. I'm not being silly.
I think that if we're
What would
doing
be
it
wrong?
in
What would be wrong with that?
mm, I think the way the Gamecocks' luck is that that's when Vanderbilt would hire the next James Franklin, and they'd have 10 years of just great football, where Vandy goes like 6-4 against South Carolina or something like that. But
Oh shit!
no,
Well,
I
Vandy couldn't win against South Carolina with James Franklin.
that's a good point too. I'm just you know how your luck is. Mr. Boogie says Georgia, Kentucky, and Vanderbilt. I can buy that. Rich says
Yeah.
Georgia, Arkansas, and Tennessee. I like if you're going to have a West opponent and you're getting. I mean, if we're going teams from the West, the old West,
Well, it's not the West anymore. It wouldn't be
true.
right.
But yeah, I think that I like Arkansas because that was the traditional matchup there for South Carolina. And then I would go Tennessee and Georgia. I mean, I think that would make the most sense. I'm repeating what Rich Long said there, but the idea of that happening, I think that would make a lot of sense. I
I
really
don't
do.
know if we. I don't know if we want any of that or not though, because according to the Tennessee fan, they're about to be back on Georgia's level again. So
The pesky pole says he wants Georgia, Bama, and Auburn. Of course you do. See, I think that's just a level of defeatism. Like, yeah, we're going to lose those games anyway. We might as well lose to Alabama, Georgia, and Auburn. Anyway. All right. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to open up the phone lines. Let me get the phone system going here. And the phone number to dial if you would like to get involved with the program is 803-470-2905. 803-470-2905. If you would like to get involved with the show, you can check us out there as soon as I'm going to put the number up here as we roll along. Oh man, what did I do? I lost the banner that had the number on it. What did I do with it? Oh, it's around here somewhere. Anyway, 803-470-2905. There it is. 803-470-2905. We'll take your call. Who should the SEC, if they went to the 3-5-5 schedule, who would be South Carolina's permanent opponent? Um, and we should see who you would have there. And also, do you think the ACC jumped the gun? Because I kind of think they did. I kind of think they did.
thinking,
803
thinking, thinking they did.
right in the middle of the ring. Uh-huh. Anyway, 803-470-2905. If you
Pesky
want to
Poll
call and
says, "Who do you trust more, the Catholic priest from Notre Dame or Deshaun Watson?" Oh, the priest, definitely.
the pesky pole is just an asshole. I don't know if anybody knows that, but
That
he's
rhymes.
yeah. Kentucky will struggle against Northern Illinois, Big Barney Ross says. Okay.
I mean,
And
why wouldn't
Elijah
they?
says, Elijah says Kentucky, Tennessee, Kentucky, and Georgia and Vandy
They
to make
struggle with the snake.
sense. Yeah, they do. By the way, the Atlanta Braves are playing really good baseball right now. They're beating up on the Phillies 4-1. The Philadelphia loss is a win for America, along with the Boston Red Sox loss.
The
That's
Phillies,
also
the
America.
Phillies kind of suck a long dick, huh?
Yeah, they're not very good. They are not very good. Papa B says, can you analyze the 3 remaining permanent teams for the ACC teams and tell me who has the easiest and who has the hardest? Well, um, the problem with the ACC is that, and we've kind of talked about this before, they thought that Miami was coming into the conference and it was going to be Miami and Florida State every year playing for the title. They thought that bringing Virginia Tech in, that Virginia Tech was going to be up near the top of the conference, and that hasn't really been the case. They also thought that that what was the other? Oh, and Boston College. Boston College was a decent team coming into the conference, and they thought they would be up there in the mix, and they haven't really been anywhere near there. And with that, I mean, it's really hurt the ACC. Those teams were expected to give more than they've given. And the Coastal Division for the ACC is worse than I mean, the batch of cans from Jackpot after a Gamecock loss. I mean, it's just I mean, it's just a horrible, horrible division. Now, you can look at the Atlantic Division, and you can talk about, what Florida State won a national title 10 years ago. Clemson's won 2 national titles. Okay, there's a little bit there, but after that, what are you going to come at me with? Fucking NC State? I mean, what the hell? I don't know, but we shall see how that works out. But I just think that's one of the big things there, and it's kind of hard to determine who has the tougher end of it, because you could end up with, unless it's Clemson. I mean, do you feel solid about any other ACC team? Think about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see it, but that's just me. Pesky Pole says, should the massage therapist sue Dabo? Really? Come on, man.
Would you care to answer Jason's question over on the chat?
We've talked about that. The iHeart has moved on, and I am no longer working there. So there you go with that.
James, will you answer James's question?
Where is Ziggy? Well, Ziggy is in Jackpot's in the Big L, and he doesn't want to bring Ziggy to the Big L because it may contaminate Ziggy. So he leaves Ziggy at home.
Yeah, can't stay here all day by himself.
Yeah, he can't stay here all day. Anyway. All right, 803-470-2905. If you want to talk about who South Carolina's permanent opponent should be, if you want to talk about Clemson's permanent opponents, I don't get why Georgia Tech is there, but that's just me. I think it should be North Carolina, but
Well, I guess it's like is it like a distance thing? Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they're all sandwiched right in there together. Who gives a shit?
Clemson versus Georgia Tech is a wet fart.
Yeah, it's not worth fucking watching.
It's not worth a shit.
Yeah. I appreciate that, Jason. I'm thinking about because I've gotten some really nice messages from some folks, and some nice encouragement, and I'm thinking about through the talking season anyway. I might just do a show live on YouTube and Facebook in the normal 3:00 spot there. I might do that. It might be in the mix. So I'm debating on that. We shall see. I think folks would tune in to watch it. Why not? And we can take calls and do all that good stuff right here on the program. So we'll see how that works out, but I'm debating on that. Anyway, 803-470-2905, 803-470-2905. Jackpot, did you have anything else you wanted to get into this evening?
Casey Miller Light if I could, but I got to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
Woo! Woo!
That's funny. Anyway, I've had some folks ask me about that, and it's kind of funny because I've gotten notes from people that I thought despised me, and they're like, "Hey, bring your show back, stupid." I'm like, "Calm down." Like, I thought you hated me, but we shall see. Rich says getting to play in Atlanta every other year is great for the high school players in Georgia. I can buy that, but I'm still in the camp of Clemson needs to play North Carolina. Clemson should have Georgia on their non-conference schedule too, but we'll see about that. That's not happening. So, all right, 803-470-2905, 803-470-2905. Hey, just do the whole show from my home studio here. We might do that. So, Mr. Boogie with a question, Jackpot, you plan on going to any games this year?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to try. Hell, I don't know.
We shall see on that. All right, let's go to the phones. Welcome into the program. Good evening.
Good
Hello.
evening. This is Tim
Hi.
Russell, upstate South Carolina. I had a couple of questions for you guys.
Sure.
What do you think about getting rid of one AA games so the ACC makes a competitive statement about changing the game? And to your comment earlier, I'm all for putting Georgia on the annual schedule, even though the record is out of balance if you're a Clemson fan.
Yep.
Does that go with helping to remake college football before that TV contract renegotiation comes up?
I see the whole thing with wanting to play Georgia. You're right. It hasn't worked out well for Clemson. Okay. I know Georgia fans will be over there talking about, there's 40 game lead in it. And,
43 and 18, Rob.
Whatever it is, 25 game lead. A lot of those games are back when people wore leather helmets. It's fine with that. But playing it every year, I think, is good for both schools. And I think that what's going to eventually happen is we're going to get out of the mentality of, hey, we've got to schedule just to get six wins so we can go to a bowl, and thinking about, look, we've got to play a tough schedule if we want to get into an 18 playoff. And that might be something that would push some of these athletic directors to say, you know what? We're not going to schedule Murray State. We're not going to schedule whoever the Louisiana Tech for Clemson. We're going to schedule a Georgia. We're going to schedule a Texas A&M, whatever. I think that's going to be happening down the road because you got to have a tougher schedule. And the only one AA game that I think should happen for a lot of these big schools is, I think, to help with on the financial end for some of the in-state stuff. Like Clemson and South Carolina should rotate play Furman, SC State, Coastal, and Wofford. Just rotate those teams, and then that way they get a payoff every other year, and it's enough to fund their athletic program for a year. But to bring another team in from far, far away doesn't make any sense to me.
Okay, let me interject there. I've
Sure.
said for the last 5 years that anyone who will listen, which is next to no one, including my wife, that what football needs to do is, I agree with supporting that, but the athletic director's job, particularly when it was the previous athletic director at Clemson,
Right.
it is, why not go to the NCAA and show them the middle finger and say, look, we're going to start scheduling our one AA game for our spring game, so our guys actually can hit at full speed. Yes, there's a risk of injury, but you'd also get a lot better attendance, and ESPN would be so much happier. What do you think?
I like the idea of that, but then I think that what's going to end up happening is that players are going to come out sort of like they did in the NFL, where it's like they bitched and complained about playing that 17th game, and the idea of having to go full speed in a spring game. And if you lose that game, think about that. Let's say that you have an off day and you play a Wofford team that they're going to go out there and that's their Super Bowl, and they use some crackback blocks and things like that, and they show you up a little bit, and you drop that game, it's going to hinder you heading into the next season. So I think that's something to think about too.
Inspire you. Does it give you a heavy dose of reality? Because my problem has always been with the way schedules go, is September, particularly when I was younger and I had hair, it was kind of a waste of time unless you were playing Georgia back when I had hair. So I just don't see the value in playing Furman, Citadel, SC State. I agree that they need the money, but there's still, heck, the ACC and SEC schools need the money too. They've got to generate, because clearly what COVID told us is football funds everything else.
Yeah, and you're right about that, but I also think that, and Jackpot, get your opinion on this too. There's going to one game is expensive as hell, first of all, and the idea of, I can sit on my couch and watch it in HD and walk 25 feet to the refrigerator and get a beer, walk another 10 foot and there's a bathroom that's my own private bathroom. I think a lot of people are really, really into that. And the idea of going to a game is just work. I mean, it really, really is. I think people have gotten out of the whole, yeah, I'm going to go to every game. It's too expensive, and the experience just isn't what it used to be, in my opinion.
Take it from a 30-year tailgater. You write off when you buy season tickets, you write off at least 2 games as what I have always called them paid practices. And as that has gotten progressively more expensive, only this year, not ahead of inflation, you kind of go, hey, what's going on here? It's bad enough when I had hair. We used to play these teams in that other sport, basketball, and everybody's like, well, we have to keep basketball. Really? Do you? Because it doesn't pay its own bills. I don't know if you've looked. We're a state school. But I really appreciate everything you guys do, and I'll take the rest of your comments offline.
Appreciate it, buddy. Big Barney Ross, you want to read Big Barney Ross's comment there, Jackpot? That's good. The super chat there, Barney Ross.
Which accent will Brian Kelly use after LSU beats Tennessee? I hope it's British.
Thank you for the super chat. The pesky Pole with a good comment here too. It's 120 degrees. Yeah, I mean, if you're in the deep South, your first 4 games are going to be just a blistering. I mean, you're playing in Satan's butthole.
Just a fucking inferno.
Yeah. But I mean, Jackpot, I mean, you in reality, you agree it's too expensive to go to a game. It's just better to watch it at home. I mean, I really believe.
Yeah, it is. I mean, once a year though, I mean, it's nice for the experience. And I'm looking. I like to go to a road South Carolina game when I can, and I'm looking at tickets this year. I'm looking at trying to go to Kentucky possibly this year. Maybe Vanderbilt. I don't know. Vanderbilt's kind of later on in the year. Maybe going to Kentucky. Haven't been to that stadium before. But yeah, it is. It's ridiculous. And it pisses me off. I take mine. I got 2 TVs, and I'm take them out on the deck, and that's where I watch until it gets too cold, and then I start going back inside with it and do the 2 TV setup in the living room there. But from September through October, it's out on the back deck, and I talking about a bathroom being 10 feet away, but my bathroom is just down the back deck steps, and I would go right up under the edge there and relieve myself. But now, I mean, behind our house, across the backyard and across the other side of the fence, it used to be the neighbors, like they had let the I guess the vegetation and stuff grow up at the edge of their yard, and they couldn't see over there. And it was a single dude. I wasn't home half the time anyway, so I could just go out there and pee or do whatever I wanted to do. It didn't really matter. Now, a couple of these old farts have bought the damn place, and they're out there cutting fucking lumber and building a picnic table and who the hell knows what else. So now I can't even go out there and pee under the steps anymore.
Well, that's just sad, Jackpot. Your piss hole was closed. Sorry, Jackpot.
Well, I mean, it really wasn't. I mean, technically, I could still go back there and pee because I was facing this way. I mean, it's not like I pulled my pants down and showing them my hind end or anything. But number one, they'd know what I was doing. Number two, I got a little bit more class than that.
Yeah.
Jackpot, but I can go around. I can go around behind our outbuilding and go in between there and the house. I just don't like to go inside.
This is Jackpot. You're like a dog just pissing all over the place. Watch your mouth there, Frothy Tavern. Watch your mouth, sir.
I'm trailer trash. I'm just trash.
We're not gonna have that. Yeah, Jackpot's like, where'd the trailer come from? No, I'm picking. Anyway, hey, if you go to Kentucky, you know what? Big Barney Ross might let you stay in his barn. You could just stay in his barn, and then that way you can avoid the hotel cost. Big Barney Ross can make that happen. He's a friend of the program. Put you up in one of those tobacco barns he's got. Why not?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's some tobacco growing near here, near the Big L.
Big L, yeah. All right. Anyway, 803-470-2905, 803-470-2905. Mr. Boogie says, what kind of country do we live in where you can't piss in your own backyard? I just don't think Jackpot wants to pull out the jackpot along and show it to, there may be some folks over there, and like you'd have to explain, hey, what do we got here?
Can't pull out the old Ulatangi.
Anyway, yeah, you don't want to do that. That's something that could get you messed up. You don't want that. Pesky Paul says, if you go to Kentucky, you feel like Brad Pitt compared to those goobers. Easy. Kentucky y'all right now. You should shut the hell up. Shh. Oh, he just calls it the jack along. Damn it. All right. That's funny too. And Big Barney Ross says he lives in the country. He pees outside. Okay, good point. Oh man. Do you want to answer Elijah's question there, Jackpot?
Do you have a lightsaber PP? No. I have an armor Vienna sausage.
Button on a fur coat.
Yeah, button on a fur coat.
Oh shit. All right, 803-470-2905, 803-470-2905. If you would like to join the program, that is the way to do it. We'll take calls for about another 5 minutes or so, and then we'll go from there. Do you like Clemson's 3 teams that are their permanent opponents? I think it should be North Carolina over Georgia Tech, but I think South Carolina, if they did the 3-5-5, it should be Georgia, Florida, and Kentucky. So yeah, there's that. See, the Jackpot talks about peeing in his yard. Now everybody in the chat's talking about peeing in the yard. Nick says, I've never felt more alive than when urinating in my own yard.
See, there you go.
Jesus. Oh man. 803-470-2905. So Wes says, see, Wes is just trolling.
What did he
You know
say?
what Wes's problem is? He says Coastal Carolina is the second best team in South Carolina. I don't think he truly believes that. I don't think Wes knows where Coastal plays football. I think Wes is he is a Tennessee fan, and he's gotten his face kicked in
Well, that's
so
his first problem.
yeah, and he just wants Tennessee to be more relevant than South Carolina is. And I think he just wants to pick at Jackpot and get Jackpot to throw shit. I think
Well, they
that's
might be more relevant right now, but the fact of the matter is everybody loves the Gamecocks. As Pesky Pole says, everybody loves the Gamecocks.
Big Barney Ross says Clemson will mess Louisville up worse than polio. My goodness. Elijah says, when I was a kid, I put on football pads and ran into the trees, and the construction workers laughed at me. Are you putting out your childhood trauma on the show here? Is it Dr. Jackpot now? Is that where we're going? I don't know. Wow. Okay. Just let it all go. Let it all go. It's fine. All right. Well, what? Oh my God. That's funny.
I mean, everybody loves the Gamecocks.
Yeah. We're kind of a dead period now. We're like, I got my credentials for the ACC kickoff today. So I will be heading up there for that. And that is on, I think it's the 20th and 21st. So we're
I'm not
like,
trying to be a smart butt, but
Mhm.
how you go? I mean, how do you go if you're not covering it?
I'm doing some work for Clemson Sports Talk with Lawton Swan, my buddy. And I'm going to do some audio stuff for him up there. So
Oh, okay.
that, and I mean, I'm still got my credentials for them and the SEC too. If I could, I could get into SEC media days if I wanted to go, but it's like it's too far, to be honest.
Mr. Boogie says, what has UT Junior done that these people think they'll be invincible this year? Oh, you haven't heard their offense is elite. It's elite.
Hendon Hooker's going to throw for 7,000 yards if you ask a Tennessee fan.
It's elite. You know what Tennessee is? They are the poor man's 2008 to 2011 Oregon Ducks.
Okay.
You remember when they were running the gimmick offense with the Black Mamba and whoever else that Brian or Chip Kelly had out there, and nobody had ever seen anything like it. They couldn't play defense, but the thing about them was they play in the Taffy Soft Pac-10, I guess it was at the time, and they're just mowed people over. That's what Tennessee is. They're the poor man's version of that.
Someone had an interview that Hendon Hooker did where he talked about who's their backup, Milton. He talked about how
Milton, the guy couldn't hit water if he fell off a boat.
Yeah, but he was talking about how Milton helps they compete with each other to better themselves. Okay.
How's Milton helping to better anybody? He wasn't worth a damn pinch of monkey shit.
Milton's one of those guys. It's like, how did he not transfer? I don't get it. Hey, Frothy Tavern is right. He kind of stole my line. UT has a gimmick offense and they play zero defense. Good point. All right, well, Jackpot will be back at it on our next show. But obviously, stay tuned to the channel here, and of course, Jackpot's got the Rockabilly channel where he's putting stuff out there. Somebody said you needed to eat a Burger King taco. Have you heard this?
You gonna try this
Burger King taco?
Excuse me?
Earlier. Burger King taco. A Burger King taco?
They've got that now. I haven't been able to make any I haven't been able to do anything for Rockabilly in the past week or so. Like last night I got in real late and I went and ate some Chinese buffet. And tonight I had to work on some stuff here. So it's like as soon as I got in from working, I resumed working some more. And I had to get some Mexican food and just sit here and eat it. So I haven't been able to do any Rockabilly videos lately. The last one I did went over like a lead balloon. Terrible. Even have 200 views on it. That's because I went to a really weird place, I guess, that nobody. It seems like if I go to a more well-known establishment, and such as a Taco Bell or Del Taco, one of those, get plenty of people to watch it. But anyway, I'm gonna try to do one tomorrow. Maybe I might go to Kentucky Fried Chicken and try that new Jack Harlow meal.
They have a Jack Harlow meal at Kentucky Fried Chicken? Okay.
They do. Yeah. It's
Wes with the super chat says we almost broke the scoreboard last year. Did you forget Crackpot? Jesus Christ. Okay.
Shit.
Big Barney Ross says Mizzou is the sparklers of the SEC fireworks community. Shit. That's some top-notch stuff there, man. Wow.
Oh, they were the damn little things that you throw on the ground that pop.
No, they're remember the snakes? Like you light it and it's just ashes. That's what they.
Yeah.
Shit.
I can't talk about them too much, so.
Yeah. Anyway, appreciate you guys joining. Yeah, Snap Pops. There you go, Big Barney Ross. There we go.
We gotta start toting that ass a little bit more.
Well,
Pesky Pole.
Bailey's. Go ahead.
Pesky Pole says, "Come get a Chubby's burger here in Blythewood." Have you ever heard of that establishment?
I think I have. Yeah.
Chubby?
The Uncle Lou says Tennessee is the bottle rocket that never goes off. #dud. Good point. That's a good point. All right. Well, appreciate you guys joining the show this evening, and we're getting closer and closer to football season. You guys are awesome. We'll see you later on.